Hey, welcome back to the melee only account. My goals for the account are simple: obtain the best endgame weapons and defeat all of the bosses, all while only relying on melee weapons. Last episode, I made 2 bold declarations. 1. No matter what happens, I will defeat the Wall of Flesh. And 2. To do it my way, a sword in hand, and a self-imposed restriction of wearing the Gladiator's locket. Here's my story of how I defeated the Wall of Flesh. God, there are so many things I want to talk to you about. I've just been pacing back and forth for the last 10 minutes, just planning everything out and just trying to figure out what exactly I want to say. So first off, hey, it's Knogo here. This is the melee only account. I wanted to give a huge thank you for the overwhelming support last episode and all the kind messages. I literally read every comment, so feel free to leave me one about how I suck at dodging or what your favorite pizza topping is. Currently, I'm just trying to make sure I didn't miss any of the buff potions from the NPCs that could improve my odds at defeating the wall. Also did some work on the house. Once you enter hard mode, you get like 1 million more items, so storage does become an issue. I think I've got a good idea on what to do with the space, but I think it could wait for now. I've been dying to try out fighting the wall with the Gladiator's locket equipped. I'll be working with only 4 accessory slots, so this is the loadout I'm going with. Wings and boots for mobility, and Wormtooth and Scarf for offensive options. The dodge will be crucial for doing this fight successfully. I also counteract the lava issue by drinking an obsidian skin potion for lava immunity. Alright, let's go. That was so bad. I dodged and parried like so many times there, and it was way worse than those 2 earlier attempts. This is gonna be really hard, isn't it? While we're waiting for the wall to make it to the other side and despawn, here's the idea I had for the newly opened room. Much needed storage space and mannequins. I'm planning to display some of the old armor that had helped us onto these mannequins as showpieces. Maybe not Wolfram, but definitely Victide, Shadow, and Aerospec. Also, watch closely. I don't know, a bug happened here and my Victide helmet disappeared? Like what? Anyway, we'll go with the lore that the first statue is bald and can't wear helmets. So, I'm back in the underworld. I was watching back last episode's attempts and I decided that I was a little hasty, and also maybe a little lazy, and I should really build a platform to run along. That means I won't really need the lava charm or obsidian skin potion to worry about. Also, I decided to make a flask of poison so that my attacks apply poison on hit. Flasks are actually a really interesting piece of content. Only melee weapons can make use of them, as they imbue an effect on your melee attacks. I have access to the poison flask and the fire flask, but the wall is immune to fire, so realistically only the poison flask. But yeah, 2 damage a second isn't really anything to write home about, but with the wall having 21,504 HP, I'll take anything I can get. And yeah, I don't really know what else is making the HP higher than the 21,280 HP I talked about before, but it's like having 2 extra sword swings, so don't complain. Oh, one more thing. Campfires all over the platform means I'll have a little bit of extra health regen for the fight. Let's see how we fare with our new platform. Closer, I think? Needs more research. Okay, 25.5% HP left. We're finally starting to look like our first few attempts when we had 5 accessory slots. Speaking of accessory slots, I'm changing every modifier on my accessories from warding to menacing. Warding gives plus 4 defense and 1% damage reduction, and menacing gives 4% increased damage. Multiply everything by 5 for 5 accessory slots and it can make a huge difference. And if you're wondering, yeah, I did regret my decision right away. So my tip to you is keep all your accessories warding and enjoy the 20 extra defense and 5% damage reduction. So as I'm waiting for the wall again, I realized I forgot a huge buff. See, in 1.3 version of Terraria, any food item gives you a buff called Well Fed, which grants 2 defense, 2% crit, 5% melee speed, 5% damage, and 20% move speed. This is also the point where I'm realizing I have played the entire first half of the game without this buff. I'd like to formally apologize for making things harder on myself. Well, my pumpkins have grown and I can make some real food. I'm also making some Yarm stimulants, which is basically the stronger version of the well-fed buff. It requires you to use a food item in the crafting recipe, and that's what spurred this whole thing on. Anyways, 8 defense, 2% crit, 6% damage, 15% move speed, and 6% damage reduction. Nice. Oh, I haven't really addressed what buffs I'm using, huh? The typical strategy is to boost your regen, defense, move speed, and damage as high as you can. That means stuff like regen potions, campfires, and heart lanterns for regen, iron skin and endurance for defense and damage reduction, and rage and wrath potions for crit chance and damage. Well, details aside, let's take a crack at the wall again. Whoa, that was horrible. This is actually a new day of attempts for me. I had to kind of just sit and take it all in. I was watching the clips from yesterday and I had a light bulb moment. Why did the run, after getting the well-fed and stimulants, do so much worse? Other than just playing bad after a gauntlet of failed attempts, there was another big problem that I haven't addressed. The infamous 22 buff slots. Anyone who's played Terraria knows that anytime you drink a potion or get set on fire, an icon appears here to indicate that you are under some type of status ailment. But what you might not know is that you're limited to 22 slots. Some equipment can also cause a buff slot to be filled, including the Gladiator's Locket. The wall applies 2 debuffs minimum, so at most, I'm going to be working with 19 slots. There's also darkness and on fire debuffs from the wall, so maybe 17. The thing floating above my head is actually a light source that I got from last episode from the Abyss, so 16. My pet cat was also one, 15. Campfires, 14. Even drinking a health potion to cool down is also an icon on the list, 13. The list goes on and on. So what ended up happening was that I was drinking useless potions like being able to see where your enemies are, and those slots were taking up space in the max 22 slots. Whenever you fill up all 22, whenever you receive a new buff or debuff, you lose one from the top of the list. So I think that's what ultimately led to my downfall last run. So for this upcoming run, I've shortened the list to only what I need. And I'm also using a cadence potion, which freed up 3 slots combining a regen, life force, and calming potion. Also, I'm hiding my pet cat, which took a slot. See you soon, buddy. As a finishing touch, I'm adding heart lanterns to the arena, further boosting my life regen. Okay, there were a lot of mistakes in that fight, but it's perfect timing. I think this next kill is going to be the one. So I want to do one more thing to the new room, which I think will really signify and showcase all of the different eras of the account. Rain hat, angler hat, though I'm putting the fez here while I wait for a spare hat, and familiar hair. Soon my headband will be on there, and I'll finally put an end to this chapter of the account. With all my gear as good as I can get, one last run down the cave. And then the unthinkable happened. No. I've just been staring at the screen in disbelief for who knows how long. There's a small gap between my recording times, 2:15 to 2:31 p.m. Like someone came home, so I stepped away for a minute. I just don't understand how I didn't hit record again, because it's literally the first time ever making this mistake. I don't even feel embarrassed, I just feel defeated. I made it this big thing, and of course it's all gone. I'm not giving up here. Of a melee-only account is not unique. It is one many others have already gone through. But what it asks of you is not to be the best player or the most resourceful, but rather the most dedicated, to have faith in every choice you make. And oftentimes you are your own worst enemy. But see, the beauty of a self-restricted account is that you can set your own goals, your own expectations, your own plans that go nowhere, your successes, your failures. even your mistakes. So fail 100 times over, because that victory is yours and yours alone. I'll see you next time.